look then at the two teams. New skipper Barry Wood, who's been troubled by a rib injury for a game or two. Alan Hill opening with John Wright, their bowler Steve Oldham unwell, and Essex at full strength, John Lever passing a late fitness test. Barry Wood won the toss here. The pitch was certainly greenish. I think Keith Fletcher would have done the same thing. Barry Wood invited Essex to bat first. I have Jeff Boycott with me for his comments on that decision and on the conditions.
Yes, I don't think there's any doubt. It was a murky, overcast kind of day. The pitch was tinged with green. And I don't think there's too many sides like to come to Derby and play. It's a fairly unpredictable type of surface. Sometimes it helps the bowlers. Sometimes even on a sunny day, it's a very good batting surface.
Right, well, go through the wickets then, Geoffrey. And first of all, we'll see the fall of Brian Hardy. Gooch and Hardy put on 19, not without some difficulty. Beautiful tight opening spell by Mike Hendrick. First wicket, though, going to Colin Tunnicliffe.
Yes, Colin Tunnicliffe here. Good length ball. Tempts Brian Hardy to drive. The ball just slanting across him and he nicks it straight forwardly to Bob Taylor.
And then there was quite a deal of interest in the performance of Paul Newman, a Leicester lad, aged 22, one of the young hopefuls, I think.
Yes, I think he's been talked about around the counties amongst the players. I certainly hadn't seen him bowl until today. He looked highly promising today, bowled very well. Certainly a helpful pitch to bowl on. I'd like to see him bowl on a real flat, good batting surface, but even so, he looked to have enough there to build on for a sort of future career as a possible candidate to play for England.
Right, here's the first wicket he got, and a prize one indeed it was, that of Graham Gooch. Nice action, lively in pace, a bit willowy, no doubt he'll gather strength.
Yes, it was the first ball he'd moved actually in his early spell. He just pitched this one and moved it away from Graham Gooch as he pushed forward and caught the edge.
Of course, the conditions, as you say, suited him today, and now he got Keith Fletcher in a little bit of tangle in his next over, the 14th of the innings.
Well, Keith Fletcher is known under the professionals to be an excellent worker on the leg side through mid-wicket, and here he is trying to work a fairly goodish length ball around, off stump, off and middle. So he's worked it there, he's hit his pad and cannoned onto the off stump actually, slightly unluckily, but even so.
The lunch score was 35 for 3, and in fact we now had one of the two substantial stands of the innings, 50, between McEwen and Pont, and Keith Pont was the first of them to go.
Yes, I think here that Derbyshire lost the grip a little bit. Barry Wood didn't bowl too well after lunch until they brought back Mike Hendrick, who bowled a good length ball, slightly wide at Keith Pont, getting him to play forward and push at it, and a comfortable straightforward catch to Bob Taylor.
At that point then, 74 for 4 after 34 and a bit overs. The next to go, in fact, was McEwen. It didn't take long for him to follow Pont back to the pavilion. McEwen made 28. He was out to a very nice piece of fielding by Kim Barnett, who had a good day in this respect.
Mike Hendrick here was in his best spell after lunch, bowling really good line and length, and see a perfect delivery, just leaving the batsman slightly, enough to take the edge. Tunnicliffe came back, bowling a good length ball that just bounced a fraction.
94-7, at which point we had another useful stand of 46 between Ray East and Norbert Phillip.
Well, Norbert Phillip is certainly a typically West Indian fine striker of the ball. He played a couple of calypso shots which were sort of, we might say, were more apt for West Indian pitches. He didn't make contact at first, and it looked as if he might get out. And then he started to become positive, throw the bat at the ball, got a couple of edges, a couple of good shots in between, and suddenly he got a bit of momentum going, hadn't he?
Right. In fact, Ray East was the first man to go. He played played it in a minor key, as it were, making 6 runs in this partnership. His sense of humour is always one of the joys on the cricket circuit. Is Paul Newman back in business?
Yes, having a good spell again here. Nipped it back at Ray East, and I'm afraid Ray thinks he can bat a little bit there, and he has proved on occasions that he can, but there was a big gate there that he could have driven his car through. Well, we're getting to the stage, Derbyshire were, where they had 6 overs to bowl. All the recognised bowlers had bowled, and had to bowl 6 overs of what he had left, which was spinners. Jeff Miller, former England bowler, and David Steele, and 3 overs at each end of spin gave Norbert Phillips and the tail enders, David Heath particularly, the wicketkeeper, chance to knock off a few quick runs, and I think over the 6 overs at the end they put on about 28 runs.
Right.
Very vital in a low-scoring game.
Indeed.
Very, very vital.
Norbert Phillips, we'll see how he went, made the top score of 42, and also provided Bob Taylor with his 6th victim of the innings, 5 catches, and on this occasion, a stumping.
Yes, well, Norbert's looking to whack Jeff Miller away. He's giving himself room down the leg side, getting away from the ball. Jeff Miller saw him coming quite easily and just pushed it quicker, straight on, for Bob Taylor to make a fairly comfortable stumping.
Well, by this time, Essex had some runs to bowl at, 144 for 9, and we can show you the fall of the last wicket. That was the wicketkeeper, another East. This one is David, a much larger, stockier figure, and Jeff Miller gets him out with a good catch.
Yes, well, David East had done very well. The last ball, he tried to hit it down the ground, was quite right. It went high and handsome, and this young man, Newman, made a very good running catch and held on to it.
149 then, the total off the last ball of the allotted 60 overs. Top scorer Norbert Phillips, 50 between McEwen and Font. Some useful contributions lower down, and note those 6 victims for the admirable Bob Taylor. And some admirable bowling figures by Derbyshire, Jeff.
Yes, excellent bowling figures there on a pitch which has helped the seamers. But really, there were 51 runs came from the 2 spinners there at the bottom, Steele and Miller, and they could be the vital deciding factor of who wins this game.
Right. Derbyshire needed 150 to reach the NatWest final. Here is the 5th over of the innings, and it's John Lever coming in from the far end, bowling to the New Zealander, John Wright.
Yes, John Lever here, angling it into John Wright, pitch well outside off stump, just angling in a little bit. John Wright plays it without a shot. I think John Wright feels he was a long way outside off stump. The ball came back a little bit, not too much, and I think that John Wright feels that although it came back, it would not have hit.
Incidentally, I thought the pitch at this stage, no sun to dry out, didn't look quite so green, and early on there didn't seem to be quite so much movement, or certainly that one came back.
The surface never looks quite so bad when it's hit in the middle of the bat.
Yeah.
But when you're getting wickets, it always looks difficult.
Yeah.
I think there's still something there for the bowlers, and I still feel that 150 runs is a hell of a lot to get.
Right, we can show you the other wicket that fell for Derbyshire, that of Peter Kirsten, and Essex must have been absolutely delighted to get him in the bag as well. Norbert Phillips did the trick.
Yes, he's a pretty awkward customer, flailing arms from wide of the crease, bowling outswingers, and he pitches one sort of on the stumps, about middle stump, and holds it up.
And this is how things finished at 5:45 after the 4th interruption for bad light in this rather frustrating day. 13 for 2 off 8.3 overs, and a lot of work for Derbyshire still to do. And this match will